Day edition, and we're going to be talking about Canva and how to create your branding images in Canva. So before we do that, though, I'd like to take just a couple of minutes. I know Sessions, this platform that we're using, is new to some people, and also Swell is new to some of you. So I want to take just a couple minutes to go through how to navigate Sessions and who we are at Swell. So the main screen that you're in now, this is called Sessions, and we're going to go through just a couple slides here to show you where everything is. Okay. All right. So first up, you'll see, this is not working. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so first up, you want to show the agenda. That's in the bottom left-hand corner. So just click that Show Agenda button in the bottom left-hand corner. And then the next thing that you'll want to see here, you can see your microphone and your camera. If you have access to those, you'll be able to control those there in the middle. And then over in the far right-hand corner, you'll see the Q&A section. That's where you can ask any questions that you have. Just type them in. We'll answer them at the end, but you can type them in anytime throughout the presentation. Okay. And then right in the middle, there's a little hand, looks like this. That's your emoji. If you want to send a thumbs up or a heart since it's Valentine's Day, go ahead and press that button at any time. And you can also take notes. If you look again in the right-hand corner, there's a little notes option. That is just for you. So you're the only one who's going to see those notes, and you'll see them after the session is over. Finally, if you need to leave, the little box with an arrow that goes out, that is leave. If you need to leave at any time, that's how you can do that. Just press that button and you'll be able to get out and go on about your day. We're going to try to record this. Last session did not record properly, so hopefully we can record and this will go well. If there is a recording, you'll receive it after, and it will also be available in your help desk. Okay, so then Swell, just in case you're very brand new to us, we are a company that helps you fundraise, and we're event software. We started in your shoes and from within the nonprofit sector. So my name is Jenny Vance. I'm the Director of Client Experience here at Swell Fundraising. Our founder, Brooke Battle, is also on with us today. She'll be manning the Q&A. So if you have any questions, again, type those in. You can find the Q&A over in the right-hand corner. And today our topic is branding. So we're going to talk about creating your Swell images in Canva. We're going to go into Canva, and you can use any branding, any image creation software you'd like. I do want to make that clear before we get too far ahead. The reason that we use Canva a lot of times is because the learning curve is less steep than some other methods, say Photoshop, for example, although Photoshop is a great program. So we use Canva because it has enough advanced features that you can create some really spectacular things, but also not too many that you get bogged down in the details. You can usually get started pretty quickly. As we're going through and we're talking about branding, there are a couple of articles that you may want to have open from your help desk. You can do this when you're doing your own branding or in this session, and I'm going to share my screen with you. So hopefully it's going to switch for you, and you're going to see in just a second. We're going to go into, there are two articles here that I want to share with you. And the first one is just called branding. So if you go to your help desk and you look up branding, you'll see this article. And then the other one that you may want to look at is a similar article. It's Where Can I See My Site's Branding? And the reason that there are two, branding is going to take you through all of the sections in the branding tab, but they don't all appear on the front side of your site. So you might want to know where those appear. Either of these articles will help you. They'll show you, this one is the Where Can I See My Site's images. And this one will show you the header image, all of the images, their sizes and types, and then there are links to Canva templates. So that's where you may want to have those open as you work through them. So we're going to start from these today, and I'm going to start from this one. We're going to go straight into an event page header, but before I do, I want to show you the site we're working on. So I'm in your Swell dashboard. And I'm hoping that you can, that you're following along with me, that it's switching. Brooke, if you can let me know if it's not, I'd appreciate that. Just give me a thumbs up or let me know that it is or isn't working for you. Okay, looks like it's switching. That's great. All right, so this is a site that I built out just because it's Valentine's Day and, you know, it's something a little sweet. And so I thought I would do this today. It's a night under the stars. I think that may have been my theme for my prom. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's just a cute little site that we're going to be working on. So this is the front side of that site. And then if I go into the Swell dashboard, which I'm sure you're familiar with, you'll see that this is the back side of that site. And the section we're talking about today is in Setup. And we're talking about the branding section. So we'll go to Setup in the left-hand menu, and then we'll go over here to Branding. And you'll see all of your site's images, your branding images are stored in this section. If this is the first time you've been in there for this particular site, all of your images will look like this with a gray box that just has some dimensions in there. And that's just a placeholder. There's no actual image in there. These images, these measurements here, 500 by 500, that's pixels. It's not inches, it's not centimeters, it's pixels. Talk about more about what that is when we go into Canva in just a second. But you'll see, even if there are images already in here, you can still find those dimensions right here above the image. So you can still switch it out if you want to. For this one, since this is already created, all of these images are up here, we're going to create new images and we're going to upload 1 or 2 of those. To do that, we're going to get started. And again, those articles that I was telling you about. So we're going to go back into where can I see my site's branding images? And I'm going to start right here with this header image. I'm just going to click Canva template below because that's what I want to use. And you're going to see this screen here. For me, it's going to ask me, since I created this, it's going to ask me if I want to edit that template. I don't. I want to go and use a new one just like you would. So you're going to use this template for a new design. And that's going to open up your Canva. Not my Canva, but your Canva. And it's going to open up this template for you. So if you don't have Canva, you can go to canva.com and get a new account if you want. We have a pro account, and there's a couple of different levels. There's a basic level, which doesn't cost anything, and then there's a pro, which does have a cost, but it does allow you to do some pretty great things like resize and magic switch, which we'll talk about here in just a little while. You can, however, create your images without a pro account. For now, though, let's just get started. So you'll see that I created these with a gray background, just because it'll look like that are the placeholder images for you. If you want to change that out, just click on the image in the template. You can click up here and rename it. So maybe we don't want to call this copy of Swell header template because that's not what our site's called. So let's call this dance header. I'm going to hit enter, and that's going to save it. Now, if I want to change out the background color, you see I've selected it. And then I can click this little gray box here, and I can choose any color I want to. And I also have some options for some gradients here. Those are a little neat. So I think maybe I'm going to go with this gradient. That may be the one I already used. So let's use this lighter one. So we'll click on that. And then I can go over here to the left-hand side, and I can add any elements that I want to. So we're going to go here to elements on the left-hand side. And then I can, if I want to add this little, I don't know what this is, maybe I don't know, I think it's a sparkly little widget. So we're going to add this little sparkly widget. And then I can resize that just by grabbing the corners, dragging it out. I can turn it if I want to. This is a circle, so that doesn't really do much turning it, but I could do that if I want. Maybe I want a heart. So I can go over here and I can pick out hearts that I want. One thing I want to point out here, see these little crowns here? They're kind of hard to see, but if you see any of the images with a little crown, those are pro only. So if you don't have Canva Pro, like I was just talking about, you won't be able to use those. But if you do, you can use any of them. So maybe we want this squiggle heart. So we're going to click that little squiggle crayon heart. Move it over here. And you see it gives me some guidelines, so I can place that exactly where I want it on the page. And again, I can rotate that if I want that heart. Maybe I want it changed a little over here. And then I want to put some text in. So I can go over here to text, and I can add a heading. I can change this font up here. maybe this one, bloom. Let's do that one. So and we're just going to type in whatever we want it to be called. We can change the color of that. Okay. And we're just going to select the text and then change. I got to get all the text or it's not going to change all the text. So we got to change all the text color to this color. And we're going to move that up here. All right. So you may spend a little more time with your images, which would be completely understandable. But once you get it exactly like you want it, one of the really cool things that you could do is you can go up here to resize and magic switch. So we're going to show you what that does. Resize and magic switch. Now, I've done this a time or two, so I have some image sizes already in here. But if you don't know what those are, remember, go back to this article and let's go down. So the header images are both the same. Let's go to this social media preview picture. We want to make it 1080 by 565. Okay, so I'm going to go back over into Canva and I'm going to say 1080 by 565. If I wanted to do more than one, I could do more than one. At this point, though, I'm just going to choose one of them. If I don't have an image size here that I want, I can click Custom Size. And then say I didn't have this there already, I could type it in. So we're just going to type the width is 1080 and the height is 565. So we'll put 565. Yep, that's what I want to do. All right. We're going to say this one. And then I'm going to say that I want to continue. And it's going to generate a preview of that. So it says copy and resize it. So I can either copy the image, make an additional copy, or I can resize the specific design that I'm working on. So I hit resize this specific design. So it has changed this to now this is my social media size. Now, if I want to go back, which I do, I'm going to click resize because that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a copy. So I'm going to click custom size and I'm going to go back here and this is 740. Oops, 740 by 288. Click continue. And this time I'm going to choose copy and resize. One thing to note here, so now I can open that. And it's going to open in a new page. So one thing to note here, though, is things may have shifted. Just like when you fly, your luggage may shift as you move around. So in the overhead compartments. So you want to take some time to readjust where things are and make sure they look just exactly like you want them before you download. So just make sure you do that. All right, so let's go back to our article and we're going to create a brand new one. Go back up here to page header because I want to show you there's another option you could do. So we're going to use this template for a new design. All right. So notice here, I want you to notice that there are some pre-done templates for you in Canva. So they are sized already to fit these. You can scroll through them if you want to. You can search for something specific. So maybe we want hearts. Since this is a dance and it's Valentine's Day, let's do cartoon hearts and clouds. All right, so then we just scroll through until we find something we like. This is the one I actually used earlier. Now this one has a lot of different images in it. So it's got all of these little elements. You see, if I click on them, you can see. I chose this one specifically for that so that I could show you the position tool. So if you look up here in your menu up at the top, you have position. What that does, you can click arrange is where it comes up automatically and it's showing you the image that you have selected. So I have this little star selected. I can choose to send that backward to the back. I can move it over to the left. I can move it back to the right if I want to. I can move it around that way. I can also click layers right here, and this will show me all of the little pieces and where they are. So if I want to move this big cloud, or I want to ungroup this little cloud from the rest of it, I can grab just that piece and move it around. So that's kind of a neat feature of Canva. Now this one, because it has so many little pieces, when you use that magic resize tool, you want to make sure that everything is lined up exactly how you want it for each of your images. So now that we have an image created, Let's go ahead and make this for our sample event. Let's call it, we'll leave the text alone. And let's go back to here. And we're going to put some text in there. So let's go click text. We're going to put a heading. And we're going to make this 9 under the stars. Okay. All right, and then we want to line that up just right. And that looks like about where I want it, but the color is kind of dark. So I want to change the font and I want to change the color. Maybe I want to make it Parisian and a little bit bigger. Again, this is completely up to you. And if you have somebody in your organization who does design, then of course they would be doing this for you. But if you're doing this yourself, you just play around with it until you like it. And then you can always come back and change it and re-upload it. So maybe we want to make it this purple color, maybe a darker purple color. Okay, let's say we like that. So we're going to click share, because we want to download this and then we want to put it into our Swell site. So we're going to click share and then we're going to go here to download. Now remember, it's going to populate as PNG, but you don't want PNG, you want a JPEG file because that's what your branding section requires. Remember, all of these need to be JPEG. And by the way, JPEG and JPG are the same file type. It's just whether or not you're on a Mac or not on a Mac. If you're on a Mac, it's going to have 4 letters. If you're not on a Mac, it's going to have 3 letters. But it's the same file type. And that's what you want for here, because that's what you need to have for your branding section. So let's go into this and we're going to choose, just click where it says PNG. Then you get several options here. We're going to select JPEG because that's what we want. Now, again, we have a pro account, so we can change this quality from 80 to 100%. Which we do want to go ahead and do that because it's just going to give us a crisper image. If we want to preserve these settings, we want to use them every time we download, then we could click this little icon here, this little box, and it will save those settings for us. For now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click download, and then it's going to make a copy, and it's already done. So let's go back into our site. All right, and we're going to change out this image. Now, you could change out all of your images at once if you wanted to, or you can just do 1 or 2. Personally, I get a little confused if I try to do too many at once. So I do 1 at a time and just make sure it looks like I want it to look. So again, this was the header, the page header. So we're going to go ahead and change that out. So to do that, I'm going to go to Browse right below it. All right, and this is the one that we just created. So we're going to click that one. We're going to click open. Now this is a common mistake. So we've clicked open, but it's not actually saved yet. It's not going to change it on our site. So it's not broken. This is a feature of it. You need to go down and you need to click save. And once you do that, it'll change it out for you. So we're going to click all the way down. We're going to click save changes. Then we're going to get the success message. When we do that, we can see that that image is actually changed. So here's our original image and here's our new image. And if we go over to our site that we have open previewing, we click refresh and then we'll be able to see that. Here it is right here. Okay, so I know we are kind of running towards the end of our time, but there are a couple more things I want to show you just before we end our time together. One of them is that Canva has a lot of extra tools. One of them is this enhancer tool. So if you have an image and say this is a little blurrier than you like it to be, you can go down to enhancer. You can choose that from tools if you don't already have that in Canva. So go down to enhancer, choose your file. And this is this one that we want to do. We're going to click open. All right, and it's going to show us the original image. If this has faces in it, if you're doing maybe a collage or something from a previous event where you've got people's faces, make sure you toggle this on. For us right now, we don't have faces in this, so that's okay. We're going to click no, we don't have faces, and then we want to say enhance image. And what that's going to do is run it through its AI filter. It's going to make it just a little bit crisper. It's going to take a few minutes to do, and it just says sit back while we upscale your image. All right, and then if we like that, we can add that to the design or we can start over. Anyway, it's a really neat tool, especially if you're adding, say, in your header image, you're adding your sponsor's logo, and they sent you an image that's just a little blurry, maybe it's smaller or bigger than you needed it to be, this is a great way to upscale that quality before you put it in your branding. All right. So with that, Brooke, are there any questions at the moment? Okay. So I'm not hearing any questions. Okay. All right, so if there are no questions at the moment, I'd like to take just a minute to show you some of the other images that we've got here. So let's look. I see there's a couple things in chat and a Q&A, so we'll look at that in just a second. I want to show you this page here. So last time, Brooke talked through some really great ideas for your content pages and how to make those sparkle a little bit. Unfortunately, that didn't record. So just to show you, she showed these bars, like putting some little bars in there. That looks really good. And if you remember, our original image has this gradient in the background. So what I did is take that image and I just made a specific image size in Canva. And so you can do that. You just go to home and you can custom size. You don't need the templates. And thank you for letting me know I'm not sharing my screen. Let me go back and do that. So we're going to share that screen again. Okay. Okay, so let's go back into Canva. All right, and we're going to go back to home. All I did was hit home, and that brings you to this page. You can choose any of their templates, or you can check custom size. So for that one, it's 740, which is the same width as your header, because this box on your dashboard here, so if we go here, this box is the same width as this box. So if you're going to create an image to go here, you want it the same size. So 740, but you don't need it as tall, right? So we're going to do that in 40. You can play around with this if you don't like it 40, you could change the size if you wanted to. And then you're just going to choose what color. For this, you could use the magic resize, which is what I did to get the colors to exactly match there. So I just used the magic resize for this logo when I created that. And then I did the same thing for my Facebook logo, just to make all of those match. This image here is also created in Canva. That's one of their templates for, I think it's a collage. So you could create that. And we also hyperlinked that. When I hover over it, you may be able to see that it's bringing up a link there. So if I click it, it's actually going to the ticket checkout page. So just a little tip, since that didn't record, hopefully this will record and you'll get those couple little tips. So let's go back into sessions and see if there are any questions. Okay. All right, so I'm not seeing any questions, and we're about at the end of our time. So with that, I want to point out there are some resources here. Canva has some great resources for nonprofits. And I've got them linked here on the side. So you'll get those too. They'll be in your help desk article. You'll be able to see those. We've got the branding articles we talked about here. Canva, that's the tool we've been using today. And then they have a series Canva does called Storytelling for Nonprofits. It's really worth a watch if you want to go through it. There's also a great series on getting started with Canva. They cover a lot more detail than I did today because there are a lot more videos and it takes a lot more time. And then I didn't mention it, but I did mean to. If you don't like the elements in Canva or you want to add some of your own, you do want to make sure that you have the specific license you need for that. You want a commercial license for that to make sure that it's legal for you to use those. And one of the ways to get that is to buy those. But if you are buying lots of little fonts and things, it can get expensive really quickly. One of the sites I like to use is Creative Fabrica. It's pretty reasonable. And I can show you that site. I think I have it pulled up. Let's go see. Yeah, I do have it pulled up. Okay, so we'll go there just so you can see kind of how it looks. So you see their yearly access is on sale now for $3.99. You don't have to do this. This is just if you wanted to, if you want very specific things that you can use however you want to. This is a way to get that fairly reasonably, because if you're buying things for $20 for one font, it adds up really quickly and you can't really see what you're doing. So just a little thing that you could do there if you want to. And that, again, is provided for you here. All right. So we talked about several different things today. We talked about using templates to create your Swell branding images. And we also talked about making things custom sizes, resizing, and using your magic switch and the enhancer tools in Canva, and also the positioning tool to help you reorganize your layers. Okay, so what's next? We meet again. We hope that you'll be with us. We meet again on the 28th, and Brooke is going to talk through how to customize your events emails. So you can find that link in your help desk, or you can find it here in the agenda. If you need help in between or after, we have office hours every Tuesday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also click on Help Desk anytime you're in your dashboard in the Manage Swell dashboard. You can click in, we'll show you that just real quick so you know where that is. So we go into your dashboard. If you click here on the bottom, that will take you to the Help Desk. And also, if you scroll all the way to the bottom on the left-hand side, it will also take you to the Help Desk. So anytime you need us, you can get to the Help Desk there. There are lots of different articles there to help guide you. If you can't find what you need, support at Swell Fundraising, and we'll be happy to answer your question. So support at swellfundraising.com. We also have those office hours. By the way, those are going to change next month. They're going to be on Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays so that we can meet with you right after these Just One Thing sessions in case you have questions after. All right, with that, I think that we are at the end of our time together. I'm going to check one more time, make sure there are no questions. All right, it looks like we don't have any questions. Hope to see you on the 28th to learn all about how to customize your emails and things that you can do to make that even better. Thank you. We'll see you next time.